Stephen A. Smith here, bring you guys another edition of the GFSSL League. I'm here.
Perfect.
Stephen A. Smith, I'm here with the owner, B1rdHuman. Obviously, we've had an interview before, but we're in the off season, and I'm doing my best to reach out to all the owners via voice chat. That way we can get these videos out to the YouTube community, and I can have something to share with you guys every day. If you prefer not to be a part of the interview, you can just simply ignore it, or you can respond. It's your choice. But at your own time as well, obviously. It's not a rush. Anyway, we are in the off season. We have Louisville, one of the best in recruiting. You also sent out some guys to the NFL. You have a quarterback in Eli Easy, along with a lot of the recruits you was telling me about in a prior interview going into year 3. How are you feeling moving into year 3? Do you still have that same motivation as far as with this upcoming season, with the roster that you have now moving forward?
Hey, man, yeah, absolutely. Very strong on this season with the way a lot of our freshmen look. We're going to have a lot of freshman contributors this year, true freshmen and redshirt freshmen. This is probably the best team I've had since we've been here. So I'm really looking forward to putting the ACC on notice and seeing how far we go in the playoffs this year, because every season it's playoffs or bust for us.
Interesting. I had an interview with head coach for USC. He spoke about the Miami Hurricanes being 2-time champ. I also spoke with OJ, which that interview will be out as well. What is your thoughts as far as what the Miami Hurricanes been able to do going back-to-back national champion? Do you see this being a continuation year 3, or do you feel like somebody's going to get his number eventually?
Yeah, Miami has had a great run for the last 2 seasons, but 2 years ago we walked into Coral Gables and put a beat on them. Last season we had it right where we wanted them, where we had a disconnection at the end of the game. We'll see what happens in the third go-around, because I know we always have good games, but whoever wins ACC has a head start on national championship. It's just the way it is. We have the toughest conference in the nation.
I'm looking at your roster right now, and I think it's safe to say that obviously quarterback Eli Easy is the favorite to win the job, but you can't overlook Pierce Clarkson. Is it safe to say that there are a QB battle down there in Louisville between these two football quarterbacks? Pierce Clarkson is a quarterback. He's a junior. Is it safe to say there's a QB battle, or is Eli Easy the man?
No, we loved what we saw to Eli last season, and it's his team. He's grown even better over the offseason. He's put in a lot of work, and there is no controversy. He is our starter. He will be out there. We do want to see less turnovers. 20 interceptions wasn't great, but he was a freshman. He led us to 11 wins and one win in the college football playoffs. So, again, the goal is to get back there, and Eli's definitely the one who's going to bring us there.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing some of your young wide receivers, in particular the young freshman from Somerset, Logan McGlynn. He's a freshman wide receiver, 6'1", 197. I also like Markel Turbin. He's also a beast. Kid runs a 4.3 in the 40. Wide receiver out of Florida, physical 6'4", 196. This kid is an absolutely stud. As I said before, 6'4", 196. The kid runs a 4.3. Are you interested in seeing which one of those guys win the job as far as freshmen, or are those guys are going to win a job? It's hard to say, though, because you have Kyson Anderson, who's a sophomore. You have Christian McGray, who's a senior, as well as Mojo Dortch, who's also a senior. And those guys, as of right now, the top 3 wide receivers. But when you look at a lot of the youth that you have, as I said before, it's going to be a very fun camp to look for the upcoming season. Are any of those names ring a bell, and are any of those guys have the potential to start week 1?
So, I mean, you kind of nailed it. We have 3 really entrenched upperclassmen right now who are going to be seeing a lion's share of the snaps at wide receiver. But we like to throw the ball around, and we get a lot of people out there on the field. So I think everyone's getting a chance to prove themselves, and we'll see how the pecking order shakes out within the first few weeks. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens because we have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, and it's a lot of young guys who are going to get a chance to make plays for us.
According to Nick Saban, defense win championships. I'm loving TJ Capers. He looks very good, junior. Looks like he's very, very high profile type of player that's going to get drafted. If he comes out early, I mean, he's a junior sitting at 6'2", 220 from Miami, Florida, along with Trent Carter. You have a very good front 7. You have Stanquan Clark, who's also a junior, pretty good player. But obviously, this game, this style of play, stopping the pass is just as important. You have a very good back end. I'm looking at the sophomore kid, Danny Curry, runs a 4.3 40. He's number 12 from Fort Lauderdale, 5'11", 205. Very good zone corner. He's paired up with senior Sean Randolph. He's a very good corner as well as you got a lot of youth as far as within the secondary as well. Can you talk about those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you really hit it on the head. We have a lot of talent on defense. It's probably the best full unit we've had since I've been here. But there's a lot of youth, too. We had trouble rushing the passer and stop the run at times last year. We brought in 2 5-star defensive tackles, 4-star defensive tackle, 2 4-star defensive ends, and a pass rushing linebacker. So, we're really going to get after it this year. And, TJ Capers in the middle. He's always been kind of the second fiddle on our linebacker core, but this year he's going to step up. And I have no qualms with him there. And then you kind of talked about Danny Curry, our sophomore corner who had 7 interceptions, 3 returns for touchdowns last year. Dude is a playmaker. We have some newer additions back there, but I think it's going to be the sophomores on the back end, and it's going to be the freshmen in the middle of our defense that really steal the show.
And as far as final thoughts, obviously everybody's dream is to get to the promised land. What's the expectations for this football team? As I'm looking right now, I'm not seeing them in the top 25 as of right now, but obviously that can change with it being, earlier in the year. What's your expectations moving forward for this football team? Obviously it's going to be a very good season, and I'm excited to see what's going to be the stakes for Louisville as they get going. Share your final thoughts, and I definitely appreciate you. And go Louisville.
Listen, I love you, but we're actually the number 4 ranked team in the nation going into the season. We have very high expectations. We've made it to at least the second round of the CFP both of the last 2 years, and that's the floor this year. If we're not getting there, or the semifinals, or winning the national championship, it's going to be a failure in Kentucky. We feel we're the team to beat in the ACC, despite the fact that the 2 national title contenders from last year are both from the ACC. Notre Dame's great, Miami's great, but we're Louisville. We're going to hurt people, and we're going to make a lot of noise this season.